engaging celebrity interviews, exciting updates from Christian filmmakers, movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely, and so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, welcome to Faith on Film. We're so excited you've joined us today. I'm your host, Isaac Hernandez, here with my co-host, Holly McClure. Holly, what do we have for everyone today on the show?
We are excited because we've got a few different types of movies and films for people to watch, everything from kids' movies to adults. And the first one off the bat is hilarious, The Promised Land. It is on YouTube, folks, so everyone should be able to see it. And it's produced by Mitch Hudons, and he was part of The Chosen. He was on the team filming and working on it, but he wrote and directed this. I did an interview with him. Unfortunately, the person on the other end, we kind of got confused, mixed signals, so they didn't show me. But I'm there. I promise I'm there. And then we've also got Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, and Ruth and Boaz. So we're going to talk about some very interesting movies and films coming up.
Sounds like a fun show. Well, I'll tell you what, let's start off with the trailer to The Promised Land, which, by the way, they say is like a cross between The Office and The Chosen. You should enjoy this.
It is hilarious.
Ein Wort vom Herrn. Ihr habt selbst gesehen, was ich den Ägyptern angetan habe, wie ich euch auf Adlerschwingen getragen und zu mir gebracht habe.
Ich kann mich an keinen Adler erinnern.
Meine Füße bluten einfach nicht.
Als Gott mich aus dem brennenden Busch rief, sagte ich sofort ja. Okay, vielleicht nicht sofort, aber schließlich sagte ich ja.
Lasst mich das richtig verstehen. Alle diese Menschen, sie alle erwarten von dir, dass du Führung erlangst. Das ist richtig. Öffentliches Reden war schon immer meine Stärke. Wenn ich verheißen sage, sagst du verheißenes Land.
Als ich für Moses mit dem Pharao sprach, lief es ziemlich gut, abgesehen von den Plagen.
Brauche ich Rat von mir?
Nein, Mirjam, vom Herrn.
Das Baby, das meine Mutter einen Fluss hinunterstieß, wurde eine politische Revolutionärin. Ich habe gesprochen. Jetzt darf ich mir Notizen machen, während die Männer reden. Du bist eine Inspiration für Frauen überall. Fass mich bitte nicht an.
Ich habe den erneuerten Bund und die neuen Gesetze, denen wir folgen sollen. Warum hat Gott mich erwählt?
Es ist leicht, beliebt zu sein. Es ist schwerer zu führen.
Ich habe gesündigt, aber Gott hat mich trotzdem erwählt. Es geht nicht darum, würdig zu sein. Es geht darum, ihm treu zu sein. Was für ein wundervoller Tag.
Irgendwas fühlt sich anders an, auf eine gute Art und Weise.
I watched this and I'm laughing out loud. Now, usually when they say, oh, it's really funny, I'm chuckling or, it's like you have a cushion. I'm belly laughing. This is hilarious. I am of The Promised Land. I love this. I love what you've done, Mitch. This is awesome. And it's beyond. Do you feel like being on the set of The Chosen and seeing what Dallas has done with the serious side, and then behind the scenes, I'm sure there's been some great discussion, dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel that helped you because you worked on The Chosen, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I've worked on The Chosen since it started, since the beginning of season 1, and I definitely would credit it as a huge influence on, I often say that The Promised Land and The Chosen have the same goal, right? We both want to take the Bible and bring it to life in a way that is relatable and authentic, right? But for them, of course, they have a serious approach, and our approach is different with it being more of a comedy, but it's the same kind of idea. And just seeing how they have brought the Bible to life in their way has been hugely influential and inspirational for how I've done it as well.
I'm with Mitch, who is the writer-director, Mitch. Now, you wrote and directed it, which...
That's right.
First of all, this is a lot to direct because there's a lot of people in this cast.
Yeah.
Where did you film this? The desert. Where did you film this? Because there must have been sand everywhere. That must have been an issue.
Man, I actually wish there had been more sand. We filmed the pilot in Carlsbad, New Mexico, and then we filmed episodes 2 through 6, which are coming out soon. We filmed those in St. George, Utah, which is right at the very bottom of Utah, right near Arizona. And it was great. We basically found it by looking on the map. And we were like, where is the red? Where can we find the most red? And let's just go right in the middle of it. And that was St. George. But no, it was great. We found sand, we found rocks, we found all the things we needed. In the US, it's just tough sometimes because you find the desert and you're like, great. But then, if you turn the camera back this direction, it's like a highway. So you have to really be surgical with how you approach it. But it was fun.
People just saw the trailer, so they saw a lot of characters and desert theme and characters. Give us your description of what the Promised Land's about and why you created it this way.
Yeah. So The Promised Land is a workplace comedy series about Moses and his family on their journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. So the story takes place after they have crossed the Red Sea and they are now in the desert. They have not gotten to the border yet, right? So technically the wandering process has not started. They're just on their way right now. That's kind of the center point of what our show's about. We're following the biblical timeline, following the major plot points of Moses' story. But our approach, of course, is it's like we have a documentary series there, right?
It is.
We're in the style of The Office and Parks and Rec, and so we have these interviews with the characters. Like Moses talks directly to camera sometimes, and he's like, "This is not going how I thought it would, go."
I love the sarcasm. I love the part. Not your lad. And they're he's doubting everybody. Who played Moses, by the way? Talk about that actor because he did it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Wasim Nomani is incredible. He's if you've seen The Chosen, he's in The Chosen as Yanni, one of the Pharisees, a villain in that show. And then he and I knew each other. And when I had written the pilot, we were doing our auditions, and I saw his audition come in, and I was like, no way, because I didn't think we'd get, you never know who you're going to find, and we had a really low budget, and he just came in and he was like, I'd love to do it, and it was so exciting for me. But yeah, he plays Moses, who's so funny, he's so good, and such an important kind of thermometer for our show, because Moses is not. I wouldn't say he's the funniest character on our show. He's very funny sometimes, but I would say we kind of look to him to be like, how do we feel about what's happening right now? And he kind of gives us that, and that's huge. So yeah, that's kind of the show in a nutshell and what we're doing with it.
And he's the iconic character. But then there's the family. There's Miriam, who is not a happy person. She's just kind of irritated with the whole thing. And Joshua, I love Joshua and Aaron. So describe the actors that play Joshua. That's hilarious. That's a phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
And it's hard enough people can relate to because we all want to be the Joshuas next to the Moses,
Right, exactly. Oh, for sure. Yeah, so that was kind of, I'll describe them in a second. That was kind of my main thing I wanted to do with the show is I wanted to make an entertaining ensemble comedy, right? So I wanted it to be, we want to get to know Moses' family as well as we know Moses, because of course everyone knows who Moses is. But, as you start getting around, Aaron and Miriam are mentioned in the Bible, but we don't know that much about them. There's a few moments. Yeah, Miriam is great. I love writing for Miriam, and she's played by Shireen Khan in our show. And Shireen is so funny because in real life, she is just the sweetest, most extroverted. She's just like the nicest person you've ever met in your whole life. She does, I'll tell you this, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but maybe I'm embarrassing her right now, but she does like this bubble business on the side where she goes to like birthday parties in schools and she like teaches with like these bubbles. She like just has like a bubble machine, and she just has like little shows and stuff for kids. It's super sweet and fun. And then of course in our show, she's like, my name is Miriam, I'm Moses' sister. She's very like down. But because she's, Miriam is very smart. She's if there's one thing we know about her from scripture, she was very outspoken, and very, she protected Moses as a child, and then as an adult, like she's one of the few people who challenged Moses' authority later on. We haven't gotten there yet, but later on. So yeah, I wanted to kind of play her as someone who is extremely smart, but is forced to be a secretary at the moment, and wants to do more leadership in the world.
Yes.
And she does great as a secretary, but she has high aspirations. Yeah, I think Joshua is played by our two Nazareth. Artoon is incredible. He's so funny. He's just got comedy in his bones. And so he does a lot with a little. And after we did the pilot and I wrote more of the episodes, I knew immediately, I was like, I need more Joshua because he is so good and he's so funny. And you'll get to see a lot more of that in the new episodes. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah, played by Majid Sayas. Also incredible. Majid is so good at both playing super friendly, outgoing, and also playing the drama. And Aaron kind of has a bit of both because Aaron is a people-pleasing, pushover type guy. And he also ends up getting left in charge of the people when Moses is gone on the mountain, which is a story we'll get to, in the show as well. But yeah, it's an incredible cast. I'm blessed to have them.
I'm telling you, they work perfectly. Now, this, and everything's taking place in the desert at this point, which it kind of does. So that was easy for you.
Yeah.
You film these shows, it's on YouTube. Now, this is where people can see it. Is it staying on YouTube? This should be on a network. This is so good. I mean,
I appreciate it. Yeah.
with all the connections that Dallas has, he's putting it you on a network. What's wrong with him?
You know what's funny? Is we were looking at that. We were exploring, is that right for us? Is that right for our show? And I'll tell you the truth, we even had a couple of offers, but our show is really meant, it's primarily targeted at like college students, right?
Yes.
Like young believers or people who maybe grew up in a church but aren't believers but have some familiarity with this, type of show. And we were like, where are these people? What are they watching the
They're
show
on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. It's just where they are.
It's there. Yeah, you're right. You probably have a bigger audience there than you would on a network or anywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading some of the comments, and what someone said, I learned more from watching this show all the years I was raised in church, which made me laugh. Wasn't that a compliment? I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, I'll take it. I love it. Yeah, it's both sad and very funny. That's the thing is that I wanted, I want to get everything right in terms of how it is portrayed in scripture, right? My hope is that you watch the show and then you go and you read the Bible and you're like, yep, there it is. There's that part where they, did laundry for 3 days. There's that part where they did a census. There's all that aspects of the show right here in scripture. But of course, we're coloring in all the gaps with, comedy and fun and, all those.
The laundry scene was hilarious. And he's so everybody did a lot. Then Moses tries to be funny and gets it and says something and tipped all. I love the timing. Did they have an absolute blast? Is this crew cast just have an absolute blast doing this?
Oh,
did they get to say funny things?
Yeah, and they're so good at it. What's funny is comedy is really interesting because you have to really approach it seriously for it to work. Like you have to really engage and lock in and listen. Like everyone kind of thinks like, oh, you guys must just be joking around on set all the time. We are sometimes, but I would say for the most part, I'll be watching a hilarious scene and, we cut and it's like, yeah, it was good. Let's kind of play with this aspect, that aspect, because we're all kind of focused on getting it right. But they are hilarious. They really get it. And that was the important thing for me with casting is that I needed to find people who were good at understanding this, but also good at understanding that they don't need to be funny for it to be funny. It's actually usually better when they are taking it seriously, and that's what makes it funny. But then they also happen to be really good at improv. So all of them are improving constantly. When the new episodes come out, there are whole scenes that didn't exist in the script. But, we were shooting something and we were saying, what'd be really funny is if we did this. And then we just did that instead. And it's way better. And they were really great about rolling with those punches.
I was going to ask you, writing this, because some of the comebacks and stuff, I'm like, how this is so conversational. It's so what people would say, but to write it sometimes I think would be hard. So I was going to ask you if they were ad-libbing any of this,
Yeah.
if they were, doing extra of what you've written down there. And that's funny. I can.
Yeah, we do. They do a lot of great ad lib. And then I do try to write as conversational as I can. It's crazy. Like if you ever found me out in the wild, because I do most of my writing like in coffee shops, it just kind of helps you out of the helm. I look like a crazy person because I'm sitting there and I'm doing all the voices. Like I'm just like mumbling to myself, like, like Miriam talking, Moses talking, just because I feel like I can't write it unless I'm, also acting it out myself a little bit. And they seem to like it, and they certainly add a lot to it, which is great.
So now, how many shows have you done? And is this one season? How is this going to play out?
Yeah, so we've made the pilot episode, which is out on YouTube right now. That came out last summer, and then we have 5 more episodes that we filmed, episodes 2 through 6, which are coming out on YouTube this October.
Okay. And then what?
And then what? And then I'm preparing. I'm I've been going through numbers and at the end of Exodus to plot out season 2. My wife is a writer as well, and she's been working with me to craft what season 2 would be. And so hopefully, if everything goes well with season 1, we'll be able to jump into making season 2. And I'm very excited. If we get to do it, I think these new scripts are going to be incredible.
Mitch, you can't have us fall in love with these characters and then we're just left in the desert, like we're left there. You have to keep this going. And you would think for 40 years, you've got a lot of material, right? I mean, you've got
40 seasons worth, it's, we're going to be giving Bonanza a run for their money. No, my hope, I want to do 40 episodes. My hope would be, if it all works out, if people are liking it and they're telling their friends about it and it gets the word out and we can do more, I'd like to do 40 episodes and a movie would be my hope.
Yes. Yes. You've got to do a movie, and you actually know people, wink, wink, who you're working with, right? Who you've worked with closely.
That's right.
Chosen people that can help you, who have their own production companies. Come on. I mean, it's got to be a movie. Honestly, I think it's funny, but I just love it. I'm glad it's on YouTube. I'm glad where people can go on and watch it and get their friends and pass it around. With what we've seen happen with the younger generation recently, and the turning point that we are at in this country,
right.
Having the Bible, having the word in a creative way to a younger generation is more important than ever, don't you think?
Oh, I fully agree. My absolute favorite comment that we got on the pilot is that someone commented and they said, man, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a believer, but I've watched this and I think I'm going to go buy a Bible. Sorry, I hit my mic, but I think I'm going to go buy a Bible. And then they left a comment after that and they said, hey, edit, I bought a Bible. And then there are a bunch of people who were commenting back and they were saying, hey, you should start here, read this part, read that part, that's honestly, I'm already like, great, we did it. Everything else from there is kind of gravy. Because
you did. I mean, you did the 5 loaves and 2 fishes. You put it out there and it's multiplied and it's doing that. And that's what needs to be done, and you made it funny and interesting. And, it's just so creative, so different.
I appreciate it.
I love it. So much success to you and blessings on this. So people can go on YouTube and watch it right now. And then you said you're going to be releasing it in October. What, week by week, or all of them, or
October 1st is when episode 2 will come out, and then after that we'll kind of slowly roll them out on YouTube from there. I believe it'll be weekly, but yeah, we'll be rolling them out starting October 1st with episode 2. And I'm just excited. I know for me, I was raised in a Christian home, and I feel like, I was a VeggieTales kid, all that kind of stuff. I feel like the gap was when I was a teenager and then an adult, in college and everything, where I feel like there wasn't really anything for me at that phase. There's a lot of great Christian content for kids, and then there's a lot of great Christian content for adults. And there's kind of like a gap in the middle where it's like, what's for me now? And I think if the Promised Land had been at I would have just
drank it up. My grandson is 19. And he just went to study to be a youth pastor in Kansas. He's in North Carolina. He's down there with a church, and he's in a program. He loves The Office. I mean, loves it. Like, I bought him a calendar. That's how much he loves it.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
He's 19. He wasn't even in the generation that was watching it when it first been out, really.
Right.
So you can bet I'm going to send him this because he'll pass it to all the kids and introduce them. So this is great. You've got something that you capture that kind of humor and that, style, and it'll entertain him. So I'm excited about
fun. Let me know when he sees that. I'd love to know what he thinks.
Okay. I want a shirt. I want a hat. I want to send him.
There you go. Got the merch. Yeah, that's right. We've got this is the tour t-shirt. It's 40 years in the desert, but it's all just the desert. Oh, that is hilarious. It's great. Yeah.
Mitch, I love your shirt. Oh, this is so much fun. Well, listen, see me at Capernaum. I would love to see you.
I'd love to see you. Yeah.
Come visit.
I miss Capernaum. Capernaum's a great set. You guys do some awesome stuff.
Well, I'm going to tell them about this show. We loved it. You should come out and film something there. If you need a village, you know where you can find us.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great.
Well, thanks so much for this. So much success and blessings. And come back and let us know how you're doing.
All right, will do. Thanks.
Okay.
When the Jesus movement swept across the world 50 years ago, churches were divided against themselves. Based on a true story, Jesus Freaks is both a new book and a motion picture by writer and director Nina May. It's the story of two college kids who discover love, faith, and the power of the Holy Spirit changing lives around them. Follow their lifelong journey through spiritual awareness and supernatural encounters while embracing the power of the Holy Spirit in their lives.
What do we have to gain?
Pretty much everything.
I have loved you every day, every hour, every minute, every second ever since.
We don't always get what we want, but we always get what we need. We're connected. All of us.
Oh, there you are.
I really was there the whole time. I promise I was there. It was fun though. He is so much fun to interview, and I'm telling you, I sent it to my daughter and my grandkids. They are loving it. They're watching the series. It's hilarious. Everyone's going to enjoy The Promised Land. Yeah, that was something for probably older kids to teens to adults, all ages to enjoy. Now something for the little ones, but it's also for the moms and grandmoms because it stars Kristen Wiig and Gloria Esteban in Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Let's take a look. It's cute. Honestly, and it's G. I mean, not even PG. It's G. So, how many things are there out there for general audiences to enjoy? And I think it's wonderful. And, grandparents, take your grandkids to it, your granddaughters and grandsons. They'll love that. I love that. And also now something else that's interesting. Netflix has got a new series going on with Devon Franklin and Tyler Perry. It's the first one of probably many to come out because, of course, Netflix wants to cash in on the Christian audience, right? Everyone else is seeing it, so let's do it. Well, how better to do it than to tell a modern day story of a Bible story? So Ruth and Boaz is the coming modern tale of the iconic love story about Ruth and, her mother-in-law, and then she goes to be with her and Boaz. It is that. And again, it stars Felicia Rashad, who is in this, and several characters who you probably don't know, people, but let's take a look at the trailer and you get a better idea.
Okay.
This is getting in. And I love that Devon Franklin and Tyler Perry are doing this and exploring it on a venue that can be worldwide and that people can see. So we will see. I haven't had a chance to take a peek at it yet, so I'm pretty sure it's probably for older audiences. Yeah. I'm sure if it's a Bible story, it'll be clean, but let's hope, let's hope. So I don't know, but you'll see. And
sometimes those Bible stories can definitely be for a much more mature audience, huh?
That's true. The Bible's not rated G, is it, Isaac?
No, not at all.
But I tell you what I do love. I love That Promised Land. I think it is hilarious, and people are going to love the sense of humor and Moses and all the trials and tribulations. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I remember at one of the pitch-a-thons that I was a part of, they came about 2 years ago. They came and pitched that whole idea, and they had shot a little bit of a teaser trailer, and I just thought it was, I kind of knew that was going to be a big hit because it was just hilarious.
Because, even in The Chosen, I love how Dallas used funny things in The Chosen, had a sense of humor. You got to mix and blend it in there with serious as well. And he had Jesus have a sense of humor, which I think a lot of people are surprised at. Like, oh, Jesus had a sense of humor. He joked. Anyway, so that's what The Promised Land does. I'm excited for everyone to see that. So great show with a lot of sampling of different kinds of movies and shows for everyone to watch.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for today's show, Holly. Folks, I want to remind you to check out our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. And, of course, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. All right, Holly. See you next time.
Choose your movies wisely.
Bye-bye now.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.